Cruise news time. Well, Royal Caribbean has announced that it's kicking the Anthem of the Seas out of New York City, and it's replacing it with a newer cruise ship. Also, two really big stories coming out from Disney Cruise Line. We have a cruise company that's investing $8.2 billion in brand new cruise ships over the next few years, which is a lot of money. And the results are in. 11,000 of you responded to the poll on tipping, and you may be surprised how many people have admitted to removing the assigned gratuities. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face on a Monday, the 3rd of April, 2023. And I've got a big old pile of cruise news. Let's jump into the first cruise news story. Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas is being replaced in the New York City area. Royal Caribbean International has announced that their newer cruise ship, the Odyssey of the Seas, will be taking over the itineraries starting in mid-November 2024, running through late April 2025. I said in a previous show that New York and New Jersey were almost exactly the same thing. I said that specifically so that my wife would give me grief when I got home, which she did, and I never addressed it. Of course, I know that New York and New Jersey are different things, but it's always fun to poke fun at people there in New York and New Jersey. I love both of those places. I've never sailed out of Bayonne in New Jersey, but I sure would like to. And maybe this is my opportunity. The Odyssey, once she is positioned there in Bayonne, will be doing 7-night to 12-night sailings, going to the exotic locales of the Caribbean, Florida, and Bermuda. Cruise news story number 2, Disney Cruise Line has announced a milestone for their newest cruise ship, the Disney Treasure. That is what you are. The Disney Treasure was named such because it will feature an adventure theme, an homage to Walt Disney's love of adventure. The Disney Treasure is currently being built at the Meyer Werft shipyard in Germany, and it had a milestone just a couple days ago. They laid the keel. Laying the keel is one of the early milestones in the shipbuilding process. The Disney Treasure is set to be delivered to Disney Cruise Lines in 2024. Cruise news story number 3, another Disney Cruise Line story. Big announcement coming out last week that Disney will homeport in Southeast Asia for the very first time. A 5-year deal was struck with the Board of Tourism there in Singapore to bring the partially built, recently acquired mega cruise ship that was picked up from the now defunct Dream Cruises. That cruise ship will be the one that is homeported in Singapore. There's still about £1 billion worth of work to do to make it Disney-fied, ready for that Disney experience. That cruise ship will start its sailings in Singapore in 2025. Cruise news story number 4, we do have a service anniversary of a cruise ship to recognize. This time we're talking about the Regent 7 Seas Voyager. She has been in service for 20 years. A pretty special cruise ship, really the second cruise ship in an experiment that Regent did to make a only suites cruise ship. Of course, this is a luxury brand. She has a guest capacity of around 700. What I understand about Regent 7 Seas is the demographic has a lot of men and women in their 50s and 60s, and what man doesn't want to spend time with a 20-year-old? That's a midlife crisis joke, y'all. I'm just kidding. Calm down out there. Look, the opportunity presented itself in that joke, and I took it. And honestly, 20 years is probably like the midlife for a cruise ship. She's getting a little older. She's been refurbished a couple times, but anniversary nonetheless. Cruise news story number 5, MSC Cruises cannot be stopped. Remember, this isn't like a publicly traded company. This is a cruise line that is backed by the world's largest shipping company, Mediterranean Shipping Company, MSC. MSC Cruises announcing a plan to spend $8.2 billion with a B dollars for new cruise ships, and all of them to be delivered by 2028. $8.2 billion on 10 different cruise ships. 6 of the new cruise ships are destined for MSC's new luxury cruise brand, MSC Explorer Journeys will get the first cruise ship in that line in July of 2023. That leaves the other 4 cruise ships that will be using this $8.2 billion to be dedicated to the MSC Cruises line. They're going to be building 4 more big cruise ships, and overall they'll be adding over 26,000 new berths between the 2 cruise brands. All right. I set up a poll 4 days ago asking about assigned gratuities. I'm going to share those results with you, but I do need to invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. We are kicking off our 18 million subscriber campaign for 2023. We haven't talked about it much yet this year, but that is the big goal. I'd like to do it by the end of the day, but I need to be more realistic. I think we can get there by the end of the year. Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you can be a part of the dream and you won't miss out on any of these episodes. Thank you in advance. All right, here's the poll result. I asked, when it comes to cruise ship tipping, do you only pay the assigned/automatic gratuities? 20% of you said yes. Pay the assigned gratuities and tip extra. 72% of you said yes. Remove the assigned gratuities and tip individually. 6% said yes. Remove the assigned gratuities and do not tip at all. 1%. No tips are required where I cruise. That is 2%. So if we add the 6% and the 1%, around 7% of the people are removing the assigned gratuities, but most of those people are tipping individually. But the overwhelming feeling from cruise fans, at least the ones that answered this poll of the 11,000, 72% are paying the assigned gratuities and they are tipping extra. It opens up an interesting conversation. So are you over tipping? The question is always there. Do the crew members get the assigned gratuities? I've heard anecdotal stories from people saying, oh, I talked to a crew member. They tell me they don't get any of the assigned gratuities. I've also had anecdotal stories of people that work for the cruise lines in leadership that say, of course they get the assigned gratuities. That is the public message out there. And so it really, again, this is a situation that's kind of frustrating for cruisers. I don't know any other vacation type where I'm a part of the labor wage payment process. Most of the time you just want to go on your vacation. You don't want to try to make sure that the people that are helping you on your vacation are getting paid fairly. But here in North America, specifically in the United States, that's one of the crosses we have to bear as a cruiser. We have to be like, well, since I'm a part of the wage giving process, are people getting paid fairly or not? I err on the side of generosity. I would be part of the 72%. I pay the assigned gratuities and I give extra. And well, does that mean that I'm over tipping? I don't know. But what I do know is if you are a person that's going into an environment where you know that tipping is a part of the culture, that some form of compensation is based on tips, and you do nothing, you remove your gratuities and you don't tip at all, well, fortunately, it's a low percentage because those people are what we call cruise lahoosers. Lahoo-zer. That's what I think. Yep, see you on the Lido. Bye.